There is no magic pill. So, what I'm going to talk about in this chapter is that really about moving out of your job and getting into a business. There is no such easy way out, or there is no such trick that one can get out of a job and get into a business and it's all going to just be fine. The whole point of leaving a job and the whole point of getting into a business is you are willing to step into a world or a universe where you are taking risks, you are going to the next level, you are willing to let go of that comfort zone of getting paid the same thing over and over again. Now, the world of business is something totally different. If you're looking to actually be on your own, the first thing that you got to have is the courage to really let go of that comfort zone. Now, as much as people say they're unhappy with their paycheck, a lot of times you're not really willing to take that leap of faith to get out of that comfort zone. So generally, the whole corporate world cripples you to a level where you do not even believe that you can step out of that box and create. So the first thing is really believing that you can. Now, a lot of times people get stuck with also the idea of what should I do? The idea always comes next. The idea is always later. People who really and truly want to step out of that, people who truly really demand, people who truly really feel that they want to be on their own, they are already searching for opportunities. They've already been trying their hand at things. I know of a lot of people who have on the side started, finding wholesalers and starting to sell things on Amazon. I know of people who have started becoming freelancers with certain things. I know of people who have started looking at ideas on maybe, writing a blog and maybe, putting an AdSense account and earning a little bit of trickle of money through that. Now, if you're someone who hasn't done all of that already, it means your hunger and your thirst isn't enough. If your hunger and your thirst isn't enough, you're not going to do what it takes. So sometimes you might think, no, I want to earn like the millions or the thousands of dollars by being on my own. It starts with the small bucks. It starts with the small money. It starts with, the little money that trickles in. It starts with passive money. So a lot of times people who want to be on their own, like I remember, right, when I was in university, I was studying and I was so determined that I wanted to pay my bills on my own. And I've always had this, I think it also comes from family and your genes, but I've also always seen, business, and I've also seen so many deals and so many transactions, maybe not as much as other people have, but in general, I think I've seen a lot more and not really looked at people who are service-minded. So in my family, we have only people in business, right? So I think I found I always was, my antennas were always open and I always searched for opportunities. And I think that's something that one needs to be open with and not think, this work is small or that opportunity doesn't sound great. So whilst I was in university, I would, just walk by the notice board and see how many people were selling their bikes for, $35. And then I realized that, that there is a demand for bikes and people are willing to buy it at $35. And I remember this Chinese lady telling me about this old man who was refurbishing bikes and, he sold me a bike for $15. Now, when I bought my first bike at $15, I still remember, seeing these posters that said $35. I put up a little poster and, or I don't remember, it was so many years back. Or I was talking to someone and they asked me, you have a really nice bike. Are you selling it? And I said, yeah, maybe. And they asked me how much I wanted for it. And I said $35. And I sold it. So it took me 5 minutes to sell that bike at $35. I went and bought another bike for another $15. So like that, I ended up having like 2 bikes at a time and I had 3 bikes at a time. And I was just having fun with the whole process of buying these bikes. And people would just, ask me if I was selling it. I would put up a little notice. Yes, I put up the notice afterwards, but not the first time. But I put up a little, thing on the notice board and people would just call me and, and ask me. And there would be more than 2 people who wanted a bike at the same time. So I became a bike reseller before I knew it. So I was helping this man who was retired and very, very old, who was probably taking bikes off the street and he was repairing them. and I was helping him sell it. So the Chinese lady was so happy that I was helping her old friend, and I kept making my pocket money whilst doing a part-time job on campus. So sometimes we just need to find opportunities, and if we have these antennas open, like I would get people who'd ask me to come and babysit, and I would get opportunities. Just every nook and corner I would find an opportunity. Every notice board to me was an opportunity. So I'm just going to say that if you really, really want to be on your own, you will find these opportunities everywhere. You will search for them in the newspaper. You will go online. You will find the 100 different ways online that these opportunities exist. You will look at little affiliate programs. You will look at referral businesses. You would have tried one of the multi-level systems. You would have tried your hand at something. And trust me, you will never go back empty-handed. Even if there was no money to make, there is a marketing experience to be learned. There is rejection that you've learned. You've learned to receive a no. And that is one of the biggest things you need to learn in business, is to know and to have the courage to get a no. Because every time you sell something, it's not a must that everyone's going to say a yes to you. And most people don't go around asking, or don't go around projecting themselves into the universe because they don't want to know. So when you've tried your hand at several different things, and somewhere you need to not have a point of view or a judgment of yourself selling something or doing something, because if you start judging what you're doing, you won't even be able to move 2 steps forward. So I think the first step is to really being okay with what you're doing. And if there's an ego, and I think that's a problem. I'm going to say that this is like a social thing. So people in India have a lot more reservations with what kind of work they do. So you don't have as much dignity of labor. Like me selling bikes in Bangalore, in India, would have just been like a disgrace to my parents and my family name. But doing any kind of work in the US, there was so much dignity of whatever work I was doing. So it's just a mindset. You've got to understand that your mind needs to be open. I don't know if my mind was as open here in India, whilst I was in India. But I think when I lived there, I was just willing to see, perceive, know everything, and every opportunity seemed so amazing, including working for a restaurant, including babysitting, including, washing someone's car. There was no judgment. I had any opportunity that came my way, I grabbed it. So I think first getting off that feeling of I can't do it or it's not possible, that's the first hurdle you want to go past. You want to go past the hurdle of, that I want to make that $5 million and nothing less. You got to start small. Sometimes it's $5 first. Sometimes it's $3 first. So you start small and you start opening yourself up to the opportunities and money. And there are tons of opportunities on the internet. I'm going to tell you that there is an opportunity around the corner everywhere. There is an opportunity available right here on this platform where you're listening to me. So there are opportunities everywhere. If only you'd open yourself up to it, you'll see it, you'll find it. And these opportunities will find you.